Hey everybody, 2 videos in one day. How's that to you? I'm up in the Southtown area, south of Salt Lake, with my best friend Ryan. We're at one of the local malls, and we stumbled upon there's a local automobile museum up here, which is a lot of fun. And so we thought we'd go through it, and I wanted to take tell you about some of the cars that are here, and why they might be a little bit more important to me or have some sort of impact on me because of what I write. Cars are part of a feature within them. So let's take a look at it, and I'll give you a little bit of background. Okay, we'll start with the Corvette. Blistering yellow Corvette. That is a beautiful machine. In fact, one of the reasons I love that so much is I love that patriotic hood. Look at that. That is amazing. Amazing car. Beautifully done. There's a Z car. Of course, I used to own one, so did Dad. Dad had a 280 and I had a 300. This car is interesting to me because I had a 76 Trans Am Firebird, and done up all in silver. But originally, the difference being, this is a 79, mine was a 76, so it had the single light enclosure rather than the double, had the hood scoop, didn't have the T-tops because they'd been removed when it got repainted silver, and the whole thing was done up in silver, including the scoop. And it originally started life as the Smokey and the Bandit trim from that film, so that's fun. Nothing like a black Corvette. Can't even tell it's black because of all the color around it. All right, we're going to go back and forth a little bit. Got a couple Mustangs. One of my favorite cars from when I was young was the Trans Am Firebird, of which, of course, I had that one. That is an incredible Firebird right there. That is a beautiful car. And, of course, we got the Firebird. This is actually supercharged. So, just come around here. It's a beautifully done car. There we go. Look at that. T-roof and everything. There we go. We got another yellow Corvette. There's a reason I have an affinity for yellow Corvettes. One of these days I'll tell you that story. But there's your yellow Corvette. Okay. Firebird. That's the Macho TA, I guess. Firebird. Firebird. Beautiful cars. And then, of course, we have an F-body, which is actually the term F-body Corvette, or Camaro, excuse me. That's a beautiful version of it. And, of course, Lamborghini and Bentley. Coming over here, we have gray, blue, gray, and black Porsches. This is a classic Jaguar. You can actually get replicas of this era of Jaguar. I'd love to get one. They're pretty cool. Modern drivetrain, but they got that swoopy body that is just beautiful. Of course, Maserati. There we go. And there's that something white there in the background. Might have to show you that. Let's go around and do that. This is the car, not this one. This is a beautiful car, by the way, this Maserati. This is one of the dream cars from my teenage years. I had a poster of this on my wall. This is the 89 Countach by Lamborghini. This is the car that I happened to notice at the car show a couple years ago that introduced me to this organization. It was that car. And Nick, in one of the other books, I think it's in Star Riders, Nick James has one of these, and he and Jason go cruising in it, and I've never heard what they sound like in the sheet metal in real life. So one of these days I'm going to come up here and they're going to start it up for me so I can listen to it, because I wanted to get the sound right. Here's a classic example Land Cruiser, a Premier off-roader. That's a really pretty color for that, actually. I'm too close. There we go. Aston Martin. This would be something like Nick's daily driver back where his company is based. Something along those lines. Check out this Z06 Corvette. Man, that is an amazing car. Just beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Mustang Alley. There we go. Oh, I think I counted 7 in a row earlier. Look at those a little bit too. Okay, so this is relevant to Gene Archer. So we've got a Challenger RT. This is a Challenger with the Scat Pack, and this is an SRT. And they're all very fast cars. Of course, we've got BMW and a little red Corvette. Not little and very red. So the thing to remember, the reason that this car, we're going to come back to this car. The reason this car is relevant is because if you could picture, I mean, it's a fully rebuilt, very powerful engine. But if you could picture this car without a vinyl roof is gone, not a color matching body panel on the car. None of them. But all of the body panels are true and straight. There's no dents, there's no rust. That's the car that Britt is building in Gene Archer. That's the Challenger that she drives. And it's symbolic in the story of never judging a book by its cover. You know, in this case, always look under the hood, because what's under the hood is, you know, is the important part. Now, in the case of Britt's car, he's recently finished the engine. He's done some work on the back suspension, but beyond that, it's in pretty rough shape simply because he hasn't been able to get to anything else. The interior is rough. There's no vinyl top. The wing on the back is gone. In this case, it's there. I don't know if you can see it. And Gene has a hard time handling that at high speeds unless he's just going straight, because he hasn't had a chance to tune the suspension. And so the car is really hard to handle at high speeds. So, but it's fast enough to get her away from monsters and ghoulies. So that's always fun. She actually manages to not roll it in the canyon as well. So that's always, oh, this car I wanted to show you. This is very reminiscent. Mom had a 67 fastback, aquamarine color. Beautiful car. And this is a really good example. It's the wrong color, but a very good example. Now, one of these days I'm going to build a model kit of this car, of her car, with the right color and everything. This is a 66. Hers was a 67. But there's a lot of 7 or 8 Mustangs here in a row. There's another one. That's a really pretty one. That's a 67, but that's a resto mod. Look at that cute convertible. How cute is that? And then, of course, there's the 68. Except for that's on a fastback. Mom's was a fastback. Okay. Cute Cobra time. That is the funniest Cobra. It's actually purple. It's very cute. It's a cool car. It's a Superformance Auto replica. Very fast, very fun. Before we run out of time, this is relevant to Gene Archer because Nick James drives one, except for his is jet black, all black and chrome. If you remember, they're talking about it in Kurt's bedroom, or downstairs in his basement. And Nick James was driving around Shadow Valley in a car that was really curvy and black with chrome. And that's it. Picture that in black, done up in gloss black. It's funny because it looks like it should be plenty big inside, but it's so small that Alexander and Nick can't sit in it and then close the top. They're just too big. I'm running out of time. Just wanted to show you those. Hope that you had a good time. Come up here in Salt Lake. I'll post the information on where to find it. And hey, have a great day.